It's just a short clip from a doctor who went to Gaza. Just listen to what he had to say.
It's devastating. Burns in small children. One child, I'll never forget, had burns so bad you could see her facial bones. We knew there was no chance of her surviving that, but there was no morphine to give her. So not only was she inevitably going to die, but she would die in agony. And what made it even worse, that there was nowhere for her to go and die. So she was just left on the floor of the emergency department to die. It's devastating.
I mean, I want to ask you a question. Like, what do you think or feel, or what's your reaction when you hear these words? Tell me right now in the comments, because it's very difficult to process this kind of information. You know, I think most people want to believe that it's not possible, because it's a comforting mechanism to think, oh no, this can't be true. No, it is absolutely true. It is absolutely true, and this is happening. Again, I'm going to play this clip again. I want you to listen to what he is saying. Listen again to what he's saying.
Burns in small children. One child, I'll never forget, had burns so bad you could see her facial bones. We knew there was no chance of her surviving that, but there was no morphine to give her. So not only was she inevitably going to die, but she would die in agony. And what made it even worse, that there was nowhere for her to go and die. So she was just left on the floor of the emergency department to die. It's devastating.
I mean, you heard the man. You heard the man. This is just so shocking. I mean, if this had happened to an Israeli girl, they would make a Hollywood production out of it, an entire movie about this one girl. And this girl, we don't even know her name. She's literally left to die on the floor with burns so bad you could see the bones in her face. I mean, I don't know what to say. And you guys in the comments, you're saying that your reaction to this when you hear this is anger, disgust, heartbreak. One of you said anger. The level of depravity is astonishing. Pissed off, rage, inhumane, monsters. It's soul crushing. Yeah, I mean, I agree with every single one of these things. It's so horrible. Here's another clip from the same doctor who came back from Gaza.
As the single worst experience in your 36 medical career. Can you tell us what you saw?
Yes, thank you for asking me. I've been going into Gaza for nearly 15 years, and I thought I would be I'd be prepared for what I was going to see when I went into Gaza on Boxing Day. But what I saw at Al-Aqsa Hospital was the single worst.
But Boxing Day is 26th of December in England.
To Gaza on Boxing Day. But
it's Christmas.
What I saw at Al-Aqsa Hospital was the single worst series of cases I've ever seen in my career as a doctor. Appalling clinical situations we found ourselves in. Great lack of resources, but most of all, the most appalling injuries, predominantly on children and women. And I spent most of the 2 weeks operating on severe explosive injuries to the chest and the abdomen, and the majority of the patients I operated on were women, and I saw some severely injured children as well. I spent some time in the emergency room at Al-Aqsa Hospital as well, and saw some very small children with terrible burns, multiple traumatic amputations, and no real room to deal with these tragic cases. The resources were very limited. On some days we had no morphine, no strong painkillers to give these patients, and I remember seeing one small child who had terrible burns to her face, so bad that you could see the bones of her face, and she clearly had no chance of survival and was going to die, but we had no pain relief to give her. So not only was she certainly going to die, but she couldn't die peacefully. She died in agony.
I mean, it's truly awful. It's truly awful. It beggars belief. And I remember seeing a photograph of someone, of a boy. I think it was a boy in Gaza, and his leg from the back. Someone was holding him up right in the hospital, and the skin on the bottom of his leg was melted off, and it was like it was yellow and like I said, melted off. It was just, you know. I'm sorry, you know, the war crimes that are being committed by the Israelis are so big. You can't sit there and tell me that this entity has a right to exist. It has to be destroyed. Just like Nazi Germany had to be fucking destroyed. We don't negotiate with Nazi Germany. We don't allow Nazi Germany to continue. You fucking smash it. End of story. All these Israelis can go back to home, to Ukraine, to Morocco. I don't give a fuck. That's their fucking problem because they chose to come and live in Palestine. Now they can choose to fuck off back, okay? And figure out their own problems. It's not Palestinians or our issue to figure out where Israelis are going to go. Just like they left Palestinians stateless for 75 years, I'm sure they'll figure it out, huh? I mean, this is really appalling. It's so much. It's too much. There comes a point. It's too much, and we crossed this a long time ago. Don't think like up until 4 months ago, like it was okay, and now it's bad. No, it's been like this for a long time. It's just now that we have access to information, you know, yeah, you have access to things that are happening in real time. So not just the quantity of the information, but you're receiving it also in real time. So it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. And, you know, it's just an ongoing Nakba. It's an ongoing Nakba. That's what's happening. So I just wanted to show you these two clips. It's just one doctor, you know, and every doctor who's been to Gaza will tell you the exact same things. And even other, you know, even worse cases. There's this acronym, for example. What is it again? WCNSF, yeah, wounded child, no surviving family, right? So that's a new term, a new acronym that was just invented by the doctors in Gaza in the last 3 months. Well, last 3 months, it's 6 months actually now, right? We tend, forgive me. So, you know, this is a new term they had to invent because there are so many children whose parents are being killed. And the children themselves are wounded. There's no one to take care of them. And on top of that, you know, in Palestinian or Arab society, it would be completely normal, of course, if the parents are killed, that of course, you know, the aunts and uncles or any relatives would take care of the child. But the Israelis are killing so many people in Gaza. They're wiping out entire generations, like multiple generations of the same families that you have. You know, we then come to this situation where you have a child who's wounded and there's no surviving family. It's truly something else. It's truly something else.